Hi, everyone. I'm Paul Lazarovich. Welcome to this very special edition of Cranberry Country Journal. We're here in Lakeville, Massachusetts at the 9th Annual Lakeville Arts and Music Festival. And to me, it kicks off the fall area here in the Cranberry Country. We got a special program with Alan Russell of LakeCAM and the crew behind the camera. We're going to bring you some of the sights and sounds that make this a very special event. This is the 9th annual, and in just a moment we're going to speak with the director and get a chance to stroll around and perhaps stop at some of the booths. So stick around. We got a great show, I promise, as Cranberry Country Journal comes to you from the 9th Annual Lakeville Arts and Music Festival here in the heart of Cranberry Country, Lakeville, Massachusetts. Stick around. Again, welcome back to Cranberry Country Journal, and to the right of me is someone who's no stranger when it comes to the Lakeville Arts and Music Festival. She is the chair of the festival. It's Joanne Corriere Upham. Did I say that right for the first time?
First time.
First time.
In 9 years.
In 9 years. Joanne, no rain, right?
No rain.
No rain whatsoever.
I guess not. It looks like it's going to be a beautiful day.
You got some very special events this year, and I thought we'd start off maybe talking about my favorite, the food. What can I do to stop? And what do you recommend for me today?
Menu.
Okay.
All
and
right.
Folks, she has to because there's so much going on here today.
The Unitarian Universalist Society of Middleborough is going to have some homemade soups.
The kale soup, I hope?
No, yes, kale soup and the vegetarian soup. They're also going to have meatball subs and chicken salad sandwiches. They have quick bread slices, homemade cookies and brownies, and they have these great fresh-picked local Echo apples. Yeah, those are good. They're very good. You can tell they taste like they were just picked off the tree this morning. And then at the Lakeville United Church of Christ, you have your homemade chili, which happens to be my favorite, clam chowder, hot dogs, chili dogs, hamburgers, cheeseburgers, linguiça, chicken salad sandwich, coffee, hot chocolate, and they got tons of desserts to include strawberry shortcake.
Yet she still remains in great shape, folks. Me, I look at it in 10 pounds, so she's running around is right. So, again, food, the hallmark. Anything else in terms of some of the booths or special? How about some of the newbies this year, so to speak?
Newbies as far as, well, I don't know. There's a lot. I don't do the craft committee, so I can't really tell you who, but there's a lot. I mean, we've got handbags, we've got pouches, we have aura photography, we have paintings and drawings, baskets, sun catchers, hand-knit items for children, recycled glass plate flowers, bird houses, photography, stained glasses, jewelry. There's pottery, there's, all the usual stuff.
I know there's a real sort of a Cranberry Country feeling. You've got organizations, not just from Lakeville folks. For example, I know you've got folks from the Soul Homestead and the Old Colony Y for Middleborough.
The Lions Club is here. Let me see. I'll tell you who else is here for nonprofits. Kennedy Donovan Center. The Freetown Lakeville Educational Foundation is here. Cornerstone Community Church is here.
Soul Homestead for Middleborough.
So, yeah, I didn't mention because you had. Yep. Ocean Spray Toastmasters. The Habitat for Humanity of Greater Plymouth is here. And, of course, we can't forget the silent auction for the festival, because the festival money that we raise today goes towards cultural events that we hold in Lakeville throughout the year and contributed to our brand-new stage. We have a brand-new permanent stage in Lakeville. We're calling it Center Stage, and we hope the Arts Council hopes to be putting events on in the spring and in the summer on that stage.
Where's that stage going to be?
Huh?
Where's that stage going?
Oh, it's behind it's in the barn where they're going to play today. Yeah, it's a beautiful. So you guys get a chance to take a photograph of the stage.
We'll have to get over there then. Great.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to put you on the spot as usual, and there's so many people involved in making this event so successful, but some volunteers and names of organizations that may come to mind. Again, we're coming to you from the...
Definitely the town offices. Everyone in the town offices, from the Park Commission, who allowed us to use their picnic tables this year, to the fire department, to the police department. The police are fabulous. They come to meetings ahead of time. They're fabulous with controlling the traffic. The town personnel are great.
It's a true community event.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
And as far as the organizing committee, everyone on the committee is very helpful. We have Barbara Chadwick, who's from Middleborough. We have Paul DeSimon, who's from out of town. We have lots of people that are from Lakeville, but people who come from out of town who help too.
It's again, folks, it's the place to be as we kick off the fall in Cranberry Country. And you could even some of the license plates, without question, they're from out of state, people
Yes.
coming here.
Oh, even crafters, some of the crafters come from out of state. So it's great, yeah.
And I know, folks, to get her to stand still for a few minutes is almost impossible. She's going to go running right after this. But before we leave, I know you're probably thinking about next year's already. How about someone who wants to get involved with this? Is there a website or a phone number?
Yeah, the Arts Council has a website. It's called LakevilleArts.com. And there's two emails on it, or 3 emails on it. All they have to do is contact us, and they're welcome to join any of the meetings. We only meet once a month. We start in March, and we finish in September. And we have fun when we meet. Matter of fact, we have so much fun that the selectmen sometimes have to tell us to tone it down. You're enjoying yourselves too much at a meeting.
Well, if you know Joanne is there, folks, you know it's going to be fun. We're speaking with Joanne Corriere Upham. I said that right for the first time in 9 years. She is the chair of this wonderful festival that heralds the beginning of fall here in Cranberry Country here. Joanne, again, you've got another sunny day. We've got our sunglasses on, and see you next year, same place, same time.
You got it.
Thanks, Joanne. We'll be back with more Cranberry Country Journal from the 9th Annual Lakeville Arts and Music Festival here as part of Cranberry Country Journal. We're going to get Alan Russell from LakeCAM and drag that camera around. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for an incredible experience, meet a shelter pet and adopt. They make super pets who will enrich your life and steal your heart. Adopt and bring home a shelter pet today. To find out more, visit theshelterpetproject.org.
We're back here at the 9th Annual Lakeville Arts and Music Festival, and one of the hallmarks and one of the nice things about this festival, folks, there are many wonderful aspects, but many of the nonprofits that come up and tell you about their stories and their organizations, and in many cases ask for volunteers. But I was surprised to see the folks from the Home for Little Wanderers here, and we're going to speak with Lucy Collins. She's the family recruiter. Lucy, people may think of the Home for Little Wanderers being associated with Boston. What are you doing way down here in Cranberry Country?
There are about 8,000 kids currently in care that are looking for loving, safe homes for families, and the Home for Little Wanderers has foster homes up and down the North Shore, the South Shore, out into Metro West as far as Framingham. So we're always looking for families all over because kids from Massachusetts come from all over, and our goal is to get them closer to their home communities.
Well, that's great. Now, if someone is interested in being a foster family, especially down here in Lakeville, again, they may not think of the Home for Little Wanderers. What's the process?
So they could give me a call at the Home for Little Wanderers. They could go onto our website, www.thehome.org, or they can email me, lcollins@thehome.org. Our website is pretty comprehensive. It has all the information, but they're welcome to give me a call. And I would love to chat with them. I can set up a time, come out, interview them, meet with them, talk to them about the program, what we're looking for. We're just looking for loving, safe homes for our kids.
It's again, folks. We're speaking with Lucy Collins. She's the family recruiter, and it's lcollins, COLLINS at thehome.org, and it's www.thehome.org. Lucy, what do you look for as someone who wants to be a foster family? What are some good quality or traits for a foster family?
You have to be 25 or older, and basically you have a good heart. You want to help kids, that you can provide a loving and safe, secure home for our kids. We are always looking for people that are willing to work with teenagers. We have abundance of kids that are about 9 and up. People that are willing to open their homes to, an older youth that needs a loving and supportive family. That's great.
And could a family specify, say, for example, we prefer a younger child or a teenager? Can you do that?
We can do that. You can tell if you want a boy or a girl. You can specify kind of what characteristics you're looking for. Some of our kids do have some behaviors. Kids do have trauma histories, so you have to have an understanding that, the kids that you're going to work with may come with a little bit of stuff.
A little bit of a history.
A little bit of history, thank you. But as long as you are, willing to work with us, we provide training. We work with our foster parents. We have weekly support coming out to your home. We have monthly support groups. We have monthly trainings for our foster parents.
So if anyone thinks that they sign up and essentially you're on your own, they're not on their own.
Not on their own. There's a full team of support right behind you, 100% of the way.
And I'm going to ask you before we leave. Again, we're speaking with Lucy Collins. She's the family recruiter. Give us that phone number, website, and your email, because someone watching this in the Cranberry Country area may be interested.
Sure. So the phone number is 857-217-3769. the website www.thehome.org, and my email is lcollins@thehome.org, and it's the Home for Little Wanderers Intensive Foster Care Program.
Lucy Collins, family recruiter for the Home for Little Wanderers. Thanks for being on the program, and we wish you luck.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
Appreciate it.
We're going to continue with our stroll with Alan Russell behind that camera here at the 9th Annual Lakeville Arts and Music Festival. Come on, Alan, I'll buy you a soda. We're back, and sure enough, it would not be an official visit to the Lakeville Arts and Music Festival unless I stop and chat with the good guys over at the Lakeville Lions Club. And to my right, I have Jay Sorelli. Jay is the president of the Lions Club. And to my left, someone I had to drag over here because it's so difficult to get a word or two out. It's John Hurd, he informed me he's the past immediate King Lion, and also I think he told me he was the Grand Emperor, but we'll talk about that later on, of the North. So, gentlemen, thanks for being on the program. I got to ask you, Jay, I had a chance and I had a lot of fun meeting you folks over at the Lions Club just last week, but tell me a little about Lionism. What does it actually mean, and what do you get these folks involved in?
Well, Lionism is wide open, and one of the couple of the key things we do is eye research and trying to find a cure for eye defects and stuff like that from an infant stage to why a kid's born with certain things, and try to troubleshoot it so they can correct those immediately. Diabetes, hearing, and big thing is giving back to the community, and that's what we're trying to do this year is give back to the community. As you know, we did a cleanup of the landscaping of the islands around here, this area last week, and it was great. And it was us as fellow Lions getting together and doing something for the community. It was
Great community spirit.
It sure is. Thank you.
It's also a lot of fun, and I'm going to speak to Chana, folks. Jay, not that you're a lot of fun, you are, but you got to be Chana Hurd. It is a lot of fun too, correct?
Portable Paul. Jay, not that you're a lot of fun.
Not that you're not a lot of fun, Jay.
Yeah, we definitely have a good time. Like Jay was saying, we do a lot of stuff in the community. For instance, there was about a dozen of us out here last weekend cleaning up the island. It was a blast. We had a great time. We get together a couple times a month on Thursday nights. We talk about projects that we have coming up. We put on a lot of different events over the year that serve as our key fundraisers. And then we get to do great stuff like this. We're going to be out here all day. Last year we met about 150 people. 10 of those people actually became members over the course of the year, which was just fantastic for us. And it's chances to be out here, meeting the folks of Lakeville, letting guys who don't really know what we do know a little bit about what it is that we do, and they are generally surprised. Really? I did not know that. I thought you were just like a secret society or something. No, we're actually a very active civic organization, and we spend a lot of time working on things for the betterment of the community.
Very much community-oriented.
Oh, completely, yeah.
I have to ask Jay. Jay, I know someone watches maybe thinking, I'd like to join the Lions, but oftentimes people are afraid maybe perhaps of a commitment or how expensive it might be, how much time they have to be, especially today in day and age with families working and so forth.
Obviously, we all know, the time commitments and things like that as, the busy lifestyle. And, it's just whatever time you can put into it. We typically have 2 meetings a month, second and fourth Thursdays of the month. And it's more camaraderie and, having great guest speakers like yourself come in, and but it's fun. It's fun. It's something that we're kind of have some direction on, and how we work together to help other people. You kind of lose sight of that sometimes, but it's fun.
And I have to ask you folks, I know people are probably wondering in the community, everyone was familiar seeing Camp Joe Lee Hooker in the building there. What's going on? Will there be a new location, or where will you be meeting?
There will be a new location eventually. Right now we're meeting at the back 9, and they take really, really good care of us. They let us use the function room downstairs every other Thursday. And the other piece of that is we are so happy and excited with what Mullen Hill Christian Academy is doing over there at our old property. And I was talking to Barbara earlier this morning. She is so excited. She can't wait for us to come back and see it. It couldn't have worked out better. Perfect location for them. Great usage. And can I go back 1 second and build on what Jay was saying?
Certainly.
Because I want to talk about volunteerism for 1 second also. I know it's a time commitment. And I think what a lot of people don't realize is they have more time on their hands than they thought. And I think what a lot of people have forgotten is the good feeling you get right in here. When you step outside of yourself and you're doing something for somebody else, all of a sudden your own problems just don't seem to matter as much. And we've lost the ability. There was a time in society where everybody did that. It was a question of what organization you were going to do it with. And now it's a question of, do people even know there still are organizations where you can get that feeling of stepping outside yourself instead of being cooped up in your man cave watching, I don't know, Survivor or something. That being an example, we do have more time than we think. And once you step outside, it's fantastic.
So you got to sort of get out of that, get out of inside of you and get out and see there's so much to do for the community, and the reward is wonderful.
And then you start healing. Yeah, in here. As you help others, you grow in here. It's amazing.
That's great. Folks will take that to heart. There is that aspect of doing good for the community. It's a great feeling. Jay, I got to ask you just before we leave. Again, we're speaking with Jay Sorelli. Jay is the president of the Lakeville Lions Club, and Shauna Hurd is immediate past president. Again, if someone's interested, they may be watching this. Is there a phone number, a website? Where can they go? What time? So they find out more about the Lions, in particular the Lakeville Lions.
We're working on the website. As far as the phone number, I can always call myself. It's 508-958-6400, 508-958-6400, and that's my cell phone. Got it with me all the time.
And how about
Also, the Lions contact number right now, Jay, also happens to be your cell phone. So
Jay's number is also on the brochure. And lastly, Shauna mentioned the there it is, folks. John also mentioned the back nine. Tell me what time and where that is exactly. Some may not know.
Back nine is the old Heritage Hill golf course on Heritage Hill Drive, I believe it is, and it's we meet there at 7 o'clock, the second and fourth Thursday of the month, and we may go to 8:30, 9 o'clock, something like that. So it's it's quick. We have dinner, and a lot of times you can. Sometimes a banquet dinner or a function dinner is bad, but you can pick right off the menu a lot of times, and that works out great. I also like to mention one thing the Lions Club's doing coming up shortly is because of Lions regionally and stuff like that, we got some of the best teaching hospitals for eye research and stuff like that in the Boston area. We're actually going to be doing a visit to Jocelyn Clinic in Boston.
Diabetes care.
Their research end of it. Actually, we're going to be doing that on, I believe it's a Monday, November 4th, and that's coming up. So we've been working on it, and I finally got the date, so I just wanted to announce that. But it's something that we want to do as a group and as a team. We're probably going to take in 25 people, and so it's
wonderful.
Going to be interesting to see where the money goes and what the outcomes will be. Hopefully,
it really hits home when you see that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. Again, folks, thanks so much to Jay Sorelli. He's the president of the Lakeville Lions Club. Shauna Hurd, immediate past president. And I can tell you, folks, they're a lot of fun, too. Get over to one of their meetings over at the back nine. Right here in Lakeville, you'll have a lot of fun. And don't be afraid to make that step over and just say, I don't know anyone there. You'll leave there with a lot of friends, I guarantee it. So thanks so much for being on the show.
thank you, Paul. Very much.
My pleasure. Thank you, Jay.
Paul.
We're back with a little bit more Cranberry Country Journal as we walk around here at the 9th Annual Lakeville Arts and Music Festival, right in the heart of Cranberry Country in Lakeville, Massachusetts. Stick around. I still owe Alan that Coke.
Take my hand and start a brand new day. Underneath everything we are all people. And when we reach out a hand to one, we can influence the condition of all. That's what it means to live united.
We're stopping by here at the Freetown Lakeville Education Foundation booth, and again, the hallmark of this event is all the nonprofits and community groups. I'm delighted to have with us to my left, we have Karen Quinn, a member of the Board of Directors. Welcome. Thanks for being here, Karen.
Thanks for having us.
And also to my right, we have Aaron Burke, also a member of the Board of Directors.
Hi.
And to introduce this young man, is he with you?
He's Aaron's son here.
Oh, come on over here. What is his name,
My
Aaron?
name's Andrew. He's just here for the candy.
Okay, we'll talk to Andrew later on about the candy, but let me start off with Karen. Karen, please just tell us, I know your slogan is inspiring students, empowering teachers, and building a strong community, but someone who may be new to the community, tell us a little bit about some of the activities and events and the mission.
Well, our mission here at the Freetown Lakeville Education Foundation is we were actually started by a group of volunteer parents that got together about a year and a half ago when we were really frustrated about the budget cuts and things that were happening in the schools, and realized that funding is reducing every year, really, for all the things that we need and what our students really need in the schools. So what we did is we got together and we formed this foundation, and what it does is it is a nonprofit organization that takes in basically donations from individuals, from local businesses, corporations. We go after grant funding, and it pools it, and then we make that money available to teachers in the schools.
What are some of the things that maybe the teachers may have been able to do as a result of some of the funding, some of the activities or supplies?
Yeah. Well, basically, we just closed our first grant cycle where we basically asked teachers and administrative staff from Freetown Lakeville to send us applications for various things. I can't really tell you yet because we haven't picked those yet, but they can vary anything from technology in the classroom to training to allow a teacher to offer maybe a class that hasn't been offered before. It can be everything from supplies that are needed in the school or the library, extracurricular programs, arts. So it's really open to the teachers to tell us what it is they need to help do their job better and help to support the students to really foster a love of learning.
So it could be anything from, again, teacher training to specialized programs to Kleenex boxes or glue.
Yes, absolutely. And we work really closely with the PTOs as well, because the PTOs in each of the schools do a wonderful job getting things like supplies and all the funding needed for separate programs specific to the schools. What we're really to do is branch and cover our entire 5-school district. And because we're a nonprofit, we might be able to go after funds that aren't available to other organizations in the school.
We're speaking with Karen Quinn, member of the Board of Directors of the Freetown Lakeville Education Foundation. To my right, we're going to join Aaron Burke. Aaron Burke is with us here. His son has joined us here, and maybe we can get a word or two out of him. But I'm going to ask you, Aaron, how did you get involved? Why did you get involved?
Initially, I was a school committee member in Lakeville. So in talking with the superintendent at the time about some options for funding, because at the time we had a budget situation that wasn't favorable to the schools. The goal was to try to find outside sources such as not just individuals but corporations and go after grants that we could then funnel into the system. So initially I met with Karen and some other parents, and it took us a while to get started, but once we did, we had some success early on raising some money, and again we're kind of just starting with this, but we're very excited about the fact that we now have some grants to offer, which is a nice thing. And I think once that happens, people will see the value in an organization like this, and I think that we'll grow from there. So.
Wonderful, especially in these days of cuts, which don't seem to be any solutions coming to right now in education, for example. Let me ask you, as a volunteer and a member of the community, it's difficult today to provide that time for many folks. How about someone who may be interested in helping you folks or being part of it? I mean, who are you looking for? How do we go about and finding more about your organization or even joining it?
Right, it's a good question. I have 3 children. I own my own business. I'm on the Board of Selectmen in Lakeville. So I'm spread pretty thin. So if I can find time, I think anybody can. I think it's a question of priority. If you want to do something within your community to improve the quality of it, you need to commit the time. But it's not just people necessarily in my circumstances that we're looking for. I mean, retirees are great folks that can give back. And especially retired teachers that are in the area that they know the needs because they've been in the classroom, and those are great people for us to get involved, either to join our board or to just donate time when we have events or just give us feedback. It's all about information.
Students too?
Yeah, students, we would love to get more feedback even from, at the high school. If there's high school students that want to get involved, it could be a great learning experience for them, and also helps us to really make sure what we're doing really impacts what their interests are at the school. So we're looking for, like Aaron said as well, we're looking for people that aren't necessarily just parents. I know at the PTO, when you move from one school to the next, you tend to move from one PTO. Yes. Exactly. We really cover all 5 schools. So if somebody's looking to be involved, we welcome anyone's help, whether it's standing here and talking about it, working with local businesses. We've had a lot of great support from local businesses in the area to do different programs, get the words out, make donations on our behalf. So we welcome basically any input.
And we hope this will help too.
Another point, too, is the commitment of time probably isn't as large as people think. I mean, we actually communicate, because we're not a public board, I mean, we communicate a lot on Facebook, and we, have a private message chat going to go over information. And we probably don't meet as often as we should, but I mean, it's even a few hours a month is enough to make a difference.
Just that little time will make a difference. And it sounds like they have some fun, too, some fun events. Tell us about the Iron Chef Free Lake. Tell us about it, Karen.
I will. This was actually something that was the brainchild of David Davenport, who's on our school committee last year. He wanted to put together something that was a unique way for students and parents and even teachers to come in and meet a lot of the new leadership that was on board at the time. And this is basically where people can come in, and it's basically a taste test. They come in, they serve up their signature dishes, and the audience gets to vote on who's Iron Chef. So this year, we brought it back again. It was great. It was a fundraiser for the foundation, and we had a lot of fun. We had a lot of great food. I fed my whole family there. But it's basically for people to go through, try all different dishes. They get to meet the superintendent, principals.
So you meet the superintendent and principal. You have one of their favorite dishes, too?
Yeah, they serve it right up to you. They go all out. They try to make, it's kind of a heated battle. It's a friendly competition, but they want those rights. And last year, David Goodfellow on the school committee won last year, and he is back to defend his title. And he's taking it seriously. So.
One last thing before we leave. Again, we're talking with Karen Quinn and Adam Burke, both members of the Board of Directors of the Freetown Lakeville Education Foundation. Here is part of the 9th Annual Lakeville Arts and Music Festival. And I know you have a post office box, but how can folks contact you or the organization?
We also have a website, freelakefoundation.org, and there's an email on there. People can reach us that way. Take any of our information, find us. We're, a fairly local group of people here, so we're pretty accessible and happy to talk to people. And if you do come out to Iron Chef, it's actually next Tuesday at the high school at 6 o'clock. We're happy to talk to you if you're interested in just finding out more about us or making a donation or coming and helping us out.
And get fed at the same time. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being on the program. I wish you luck. We'll continue as we stroll around here at the 9th Annual Lakeville Arts and Music Festival as part of Cranberry Country Journal on the Road. And I still haven't bought Alan Russell that soda, folks, so I'm not sure if he's going to follow me around anymore. But we're going to continue, so stick around. We'll be right back.
Don't look at me. Your hair's a bit frizzy today. Aww. You should pick that up.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Poor you.
They want to help, but don't know how. Teach your kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
Hey, it's not an official visit to the 9th Annual Lakeville Arts and Music Festival unless you speak with George Hebert. Did I say that right, George?
That's right.
George is the official town crier, but I want to ask him about some of the things that are going on today, and he's been going around ringing his bell and announcing some things, but I have to stand back while he does it, folks. He's pretty loud. In fact, I probably don't need this microphone, but so, Mr. Town Crier, will you tell us some of the events that are going on today?
Are you all right?
It was okay. Okay, it was great job.
There's a lot of things happening today. Over in the library, there's activities all day. Out on the sides, on both walkways, and then across the street, there's another whole show going on over there.
We're gonna get over there too,
Yep.
but you have a lot of fun.
I do. I love it. I love it. Yep.
I've seen you other places as a town
I'm
crier, haven't I?
Well, up in Middleborough a couple times, and then I perform also as Joy, J-O-Y, Joy the Magical Clown. And I do magic shows a lot of times in this area. Last year I was at Crazy Days. Not this year, I was there last year, though, up at the library. And I do a lot of shows down at the Mitchell Club in Middleborough and so forth. So I have a lot of fun here.
George Hebert, town crier, but I'm not going to let him go. If someone wants to contact you to find out about your clown or to have you come in as a town crier, what do they do?
All they do is look on either Facebook for George Hebert, or they can call me at my home at 508-588-6282. And I'd be glad to talk to them about it.
Now, when you talk to them, you don't scream and shout and ring a bell, do you?
No, I talk very quiet on the telephone. I'm very quiet, actually. I'm very, very quiet as a person, but I usually let them know that there are a lot of things happening here at the festival.
And thank you very much, Mr. Town Crier. We're going to be back with more of the Lakeville Arts and Music Festival. We're going to be back a little bit more with Lakeville Arts and Music Festival. We're going to be back with little... My hearing's gone, folks, but we'll be back right after this. Stick around. We're into the tent and on the stage, and I'm delighted to spending a few moments with Carlin Tripp. Carlin is playing some folk music, sort of folk and Americana style. He's up from New Bedford. And first of all, Carlin, I want to say that congratulations. You are the first person performing on this new stage at the Lakeville Arts and Music Festival.
I've heard about the new stage. I heard the last one was a little gnarly. So this is great. No, this is definitely a solid operation that you guys have going on.
Folk and Americana, that's so popular today. You know, we see Mumford and Sons, and we see a lot of the, I think it's the Pumas brothers, I believe, a lot of different, Lumineers. Young guy, how do you get started in that music? Shouldn't you be playing something that's different?
Well, you know, I had the acoustic guitar given to me, and you know, I've always kind of been a little bit of a loner, I think, and so, you know, writing the songs with the acoustic guitar, it just was more conducive, you know, for that style of songwriting. And I grew up, you know, listening to like Dave Matthews and, I mean, Bruce Springsteen and these other guys, but, you know, I just wanted to write songs, and the acoustic guitar was really the best way to do that, you know.
And will the folks be hearing original stuff from you today?
Yeah, I do a lot of original stuff. That's always kind of been my goal. You know, right from when I first started playing, I wanted to write my own songs, you know, because other people's songs were so awesome to me, and you know, listening to Billy Joel and growing up and all these other guys, and I just wanted to write songs that kind of, you know, made me feel the same way, you know.
You mentioned Billy Joel, but as a loner, you describe yourself. I think it's true of a lot of songwriters. Can you think of a song that means a lot? It's a story, that you tell a story in one of your songs?
I mean, you know, I guess I'm a little self-centered with my songwriting. I think I use my songwriting a lot to try to figure out like what's going on in my life. And I'm trying to get away from that now that I'm like a little bit older, but I think you know, I've wrote one song called Jack in the Night, which was really kind of, it was just sort of a response to wanting to be a musician and wanting to play the guitar, but yet, you know, kind of feeling like I had to go to college and I had to be involved in that whole thing. You know, so I kind of wrote that song just sort of as like, you know, why why do I have to do this? You know, why can't I just play the guitar and be happy? Why do I have to be so involved in this crazy college thing that everybody's doing? You know.
From New Bedford, any places in the area of New Bedford or even South Coast area they've been playing, what folks can come and see even in the future?
You know, and like as of right now, the summer was super busy for me, and now I'm going into the studio to record an album. I just did a Kickstarter program. I'm sure you guys have heard of Kickstarter, but I did a Kickstarter program, and I raised a good chunk of money. So I'm going to be in the studio for the next couple of months, which will be really awesome. I was at the Poor Farm last night, but you know, past tense. So yeah, as of right now, I've got some stuff lined up in Rhode Island, like for November, but it's still a little ways away. Yeah.
Before we hear maybe a couple of minutes or so, how can folks get a hold of you? How can they hear your music and even maybe drop you a line?
CarlinTripp.com.
Spelled Trip with two P's?
Yes, CarlinTripp.com. Yeah, CarlinTripp.com.
Hear some music?
Yeah.
Great. Carlin Tripp, folks, here as part of the 9th Annual Lakeville Arts and Music Festival, a little folk and Americana style. Describes himself from New Bedford, Massachusetts. If you'd start playing, we could fade out a little bit here.
Seven states and 2,000 miles I've traveled. I've fallen in love, yeah, I've watched my world unravel.
Thank you very much, Carlin. You got to come and see him play, folks. Thanks so much. We'll continue with a little bit more of Cranberry Country Journal at the 9th Annual Lakeville Arts and Music Festival. Be right back.
I see it!
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
Well, the sun is trying to come out again this cloudy day, but when you're with Don Foster and the crew from LakeCAM, it's always sunny, folks. So always bright and sunny. But first of all, welcome to the program. And if you're wondering how you're watching the show, it's because of the folks here at LakeCAM. Gentlemen like Don and members of the board, along with Bob Marshall, president of the board of directors, and the volunteers. We have Russell, Aaron, and Paul. We'll speak to them in a second. But let me ask you, Don, what opportunities are available for these young people like this? You know, is it just shooting a camera?
Well, certainly shooting a camera is part of it, and it's an important part of it. I think learning to use the equipment. I know Alan has done and his friends have done a marvelous job training the young folks to use the equipment. But that's really just the beginning. After producing a video, there's editing a video to provide the rhetorical content so it makes sense, so it's presentable, so it's cohesive, and so it's enjoyable. And for the young people themselves individually, this is a marvelous opportunity for some educational benefits. For example, you could be doing some journalism work at school, and this could be an extra credit study opportunity. Video journalism is certainly becoming just as popular as print journalism is these days, I believe. We know of several cases where young people have taken the video journalism courses at the high school and have actually landed jobs in the business on cable television as news reporters. So there's some terrific background here. Plus, these folks get a wonderful introduction to the community and the people in the community. They get to see how boards and committees work, what the procedures are for conducting business in town, and as they mature and graduate from school, they themselves can be involved in community activities. They're actually running a town.
There's a lot more than just standing behind that camera then.
There's a lot more than just standing behind the camera. There's a lot to learning how to use the camera. There's a lot to learning how to manipulate the files and edit professionally, and there's a lot to learning how to become a community member.
Let's speak to some of those community members. We have to my left, we have Russell Dole. Russell is, I understand, a new volunteer?
Yes.
Okay. When did you get involved? What got you involved, Russell?
Well, I actually read a newspaper article on LakeCAM, and since I'm actually interested in finding a career in producing and directing in film, I thought this might be a great idea to learn how to use the camera and how the editing system works and whatnot, so I decided to come and see what was going on. I actually went to see LakeCAM's film festival. And after that, I learned about getting a training session to work with the camera and the editing, and so I decided to go to that, and I started in this business.
So beyond LakeCAM, what type of films are we going to see you directing in the future, hopefully?
Well, I'm interested in some sci-fi because I'm one of those people that enjoy, like, you know, Star Wars or George Lucas films. I also enjoy historical films, in particular World War II films, since I enjoy learning about that, especially in world history class and whatnot. I enjoy learning about World War II, and I've actually seen numerous types of World War II films, Schindler's List, The Pianist, and whatnot.
Great films.
Oh, yes, very great films.
Hopefully be able to use that combination of history and love for the for a movie, too, in the future.
Oh, yes, I hope so.
Will you remember us when you become famous?
Oh, yeah.
We're going to move over, folks, and we're going to speak to, let me see, it's Alan Sylvia, right, Alan? Alan, not only are you doing this volunteer at LakeCAM, you're the president of the Student Council, correct?
Indeed.
How do you find the time?
I find it actually goes together pretty well. I find that Student Council president needs to be involved in the community, needs to help out, and that really provides an avenue in which I can go in and help the school out more from the outside perspective. So
Have you had a chance to do anything with LakeCAM and the Student Council?
Not yet. We're hoping in the future we'll get them together, hoping to use their resources, but definitely it's an excellent opportunity for all of us.
What do you see this, how does this benefiting you personally? You know, you're so busy doing things, but here you are doing some videography and so forth.
Well, personally, I want to go into broadcasting as a career in the future, and definitely on my college transcripts, it's a huge leg up on all sorts of things. It gets me involved. It gets me learning things here as well. Definitely, it's an excellent opportunity.
And you'll have not only your resume, but you'll have a nice video production reel, audition reel, too.
Definitely. Thank you.
Will we ever be able to see a student council meeting on video? I've never seen the student council meetings. I've never seen one broadcast. You think that's some possibility?
We could have one Monday night if you want. We could definitely help you guys out.
Okay. Thank you so much, folks. That's Aaron Sylvia. Aaron is very busy, but also he's the student council president. Let's move over down to the sports guy, folks. We're going to speak to Paul Daniels, right, Paul? Paul covers the football games. He does all the commentary, right?
Yes, I do.
How do you do that?
I mean,
I've been commentating sports since January. I would start off with basketball, and like, granted, it was a little rough in the beginning because like I don't know much about basketball, but I over time I kind of like I got used to it. I enunciated better, of course, and I just you kind of grow into it. You learn how to speak nice and fluently and properly while everything is going on as it's going on right this second. So once I got into football, I played football for the first 3 years of my high school career, so I know the game. So once I started with the first home game, it just felt natural. I just like knew what to say, what was going on.
Well, if you're from the town, how do you remain neutral, or are you one of those homer broadcasters? That's go team.
I try to remain neutral, but I can't help it sometimes. When the other team scores, I kind of like, I can't help but feel a little saddened by that. But when our team scores, I have a little nice enthusiasm for that.
You see sports broadcasting in your future?
Possibly. I don't know. I mean, this is definitely a great opportunity for me to learn. So I want to see where this could take me. Hopefully. Yeah.
Thanks so much. And before we say goodbye, I'm going to drag Bob Marshall over here, folks. So, Bob, can we get you in? We had a chance to speak. We won't drag too hard, though, folks. So, Bob, you've got to be pleased with these young people and members of the board.
Indeed, yes. It's been we're up and running for about a year now, a little over a year. Happy birthday, LakeCAM. And it's been a labor of love. It's been a great year. We've learned a lot. We've made some mistakes and learned from them. We hope that the folks in Lakeville like what they see on LakeCAM. And if you've got any suggestions, we want to hear from you. LakeCAM.tv. You can send them to Alan Russell at LakeCAM.tv or Bob Marshall at LakeCAM.tv, or any of our board of director members, Don Foster, Jose Invencio, Jim Kenny, and Ruth Gross. Send them to any of us at LakeCAM.tv, and we'll be happy to listen to your concerns and suggestions. And we are having a great time and hope the folks love it.
And if you came by today, you got a LakeCAM bag, so look for those all throughout Lakeville and the area, folks. Bob Marshall, Don Foster, Russell Dole, Aaron Sylvia, and Paul Daniels, thanks for being on the program. I wish you well, and look for some of these young people in the future, folks, as maybe sportcasters or politicians or broadcasting and directing some movies. So we're going to continue with Cranberry Country Journal as we take you around the 9th Annual Lakeville Arts and Music Festival. And I still have not purchased a Coke for Alan Russell, folks. So I have to get him over to the food court area real soon, or else that camera's going to go blank. So we'll continue. We'll be right back.
Being a dad can be tough.
When's the fairy princess coming?
Any minute now. But it's always worth it.
I know it's really you, Boo. I'm just pretending for the other kids.
Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
If you're wondering why I'm whispering and being very secretive, is that we're at one of the nice parts and a great way to raise some money for the Arts and Music Festival. We're at the silent auction. So I thought I would ask, we have Egan, Dave, and Ailey, and they're going to tell us a little bit about the silent auction. So, Egan, what are some of the things you've been raffling off here? A lot of good stuff? Is collecting the money, is that one of the bright points of working the booth here, Dave? Ailey, I know this is a silent auction, but everyone's remaining silent. Do you have a favorite item that you'd like to win if you could win? Have there been a lot of people coming by? Hundreds of people? Not going to get much out of them, folks. All I do know is that some of the great items they have here, folks, in North Pole House, and they've got some Webkins. Ayla, you got to like the Webkins, right? What do you like best about the Webkins? Egan, do you agree? Dave, have your kids always been this talkative? Guess I'm not going to get much out of the silent auction, folks, because it is a silent auction. So I'm going to finally buy Alan Russell that Coca-Cola I promised him. And it's not one of my best interviews here, but you get the idea. All the money goes to a great cause. So let me finally buy Alan Russell that soda. We'll be right back. Well, we're coming down to the end of the show, and I did promise Alan Russell that soda, folks. So, Ken, can I have a Diet Coke and a regular Coke? Sure, here you go. Thank you very much, my good man. Thank you. Finally, folks, I think Alan's going to get his soda, but I'm not sure which one I want. Alan,
Oh, I'll take this one. Thank you.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers. Alan Russell, folks, the elusive Alan Russell from behind the camera. We'll be back with Cranberry Country Journal. I think Alan deserves it back.
What you want to do is, have you already enrolled? What did that just do? Wait, don't panic. You're ready to make your payment. There it is. Oh my God! I really can't believe it. That's awesome. Good for you.
This concludes this special edition of Cranberry Country Journal, as we brought you some of the sights and sounds of the Lakeville Arts and Music Festival, the 9th annual. Special thanks to all the folks who participated in the interview, and congratulations to all the crafters and vendors. I wish we had enough time to get around to see all of them. That would have been a couple of hours of program. Also, special thanks to Alan Russell from LakeCAM for putting this together. And yes, he finally did get that soda, folks. I'm Paul Lazarovich, your host, and really, thanks so much for joining us. We've been doing this since 1993. And in the years we've been doing this, we've been bringing you a little slice of life, of the people, places, and activities that make the Cranberry Country area a special place to call home. And I'm delighted to have this opportunity to bring you these community events. Hey, you have an idea for a guest, a topic? Write us. You can do it the old-fashioned way, snail mail at Cranberry Country, Post Office Box 1235, Middleborough, Mass. 02346. Quicker, better yet, real simple. Cranberry Country at hotmail.com. And if you have nothing to do, check out our website. I have to admit, I'm a little behind in updating it, but I'll get it up there, including some of the links to the shows that Alan Russell puts up there. Again, a very special thanks. I'm Paul Lazarovich. Keep that Cranberry Country spirit in your heart. And I thought we'd end the program with some of the sights and sounds of the Lakeville Arts and Music Festival, the 9th annual, here on this beautiful October day. Thanks to the crew from LakeCAM for shooting this. Enjoy. No better way to see what's here. Bye-bye.
Summer come and summer go. And the winters here are freezing cold. At a kitchen table all alone. You're building castles with your soul. And I will come there for you. Oh, wherever you are going, she said. What a silly thing to do. Yeah, but deep inside it's growing, and I know you've got me in your sights, like a deer in headlights. Seems like so long ago. Since I held you in my arms. Oh yeah, yeah, oh, and the days they pass so slow. Time marches on, you know. Oh, oh, time marches on.
but deep inside it's growing, and I know you've got me in your sights. I am a deer in headlights. Yes, I will come there for you. Oh, wherever you are going, she said. What a silly thing to do. Yeah, but deep inside it's growing, and I know you've got me in your sights. I am a deer in headlights.
you very much.